This last March, like many, I was transported back to my childhood with the release of Animal Crossing New Horizons. When the game started, it was even better than I had hoped. The detailed trees breezing in the background, and even the weeds were pretty. The frickin' weeds! The soundtrack was new and nostalgic all at the same time, and I had the pleasure of starting the game at sunset, wrapping me in a golden blanket of nostalgia that felt like all the things I had imagined the game to be in my head when I was 9 were being realized in front of me now as a 23-year-old. Now with bills, prioritizing time for family, and a global pandemic, I have not had as much time to play New Horizons as YouTube and Instagram pro players would make me want, as I feel envy of the utopias they have already built only after 2 months of the game's release. While some have made their islands unrecognizable, terraforming them into beautiful hidden valleys and flourishing custom cities, I've just barely booked KK Slider to my town, and it's almost June. Is there something wrong with how I'm playing? When I watched their island tours, it looks fun, though there was something I found almost slightly gross when I was watching an Animal Crossing YouTuber, showing off the game feature of capturing new villagers for the sole purpose of trading them with his friends in a highly orchestrated manner. He said this.
And this lovely fox right here, this is Sky. She is beautiful, but I still really want an octopus or an amazing squirrel, or even a better penguin, because we did lose Boomer after all.
As if he were Joe Exotic digitally poaching these neighbors as a commodity, not enjoying them for the simplicity of organically finding them and talking to them as the game originally intended. There was just something so industrial and imperial about this approach to the game to me. And while I felt myself so tempted to grind and grind away, selling fruit to make some bells, to progress through the game faster and get on to building valleys of my own, I couldn't help but just want to slow way down and go fishing. And suddenly, I was transported to a memory that for many felt fake. The 2006 Animal Crossing anime. That's right, there's a 2000s feature film in the Animal Crossing world. Dōbutsu no Mori, the Animal Forest movie, and I apologize for the mispronunciation. And it's not bad. In fact, I would say it's good. I had found it one day in college in a hard week, and even though it was compressed into the corner of the screen to avoid copyright, I watched the whole thing because of the feeling it gave me. It was as if I had watched this movie my entire life. How could something I had never seen before feel so damn familiar? Well, for one, the music is beautiful. There are many moments in this movie where it takes cue from the original game, transporting me back to my Nintendo DS in ways that even the new game cannot. And that is the real strength I notice about this movie. It really knows how to take its lead from the source material, from its use of the original music, to how the film chose to introduce me to the characters, the familiar, unchanged terrain and architecture, and, most importantly, what was the most familiar of all, was how all these things made me feel when I first entered my game village as a kid.
Animal Village! My name's I just moved in today!
Feeling how big and full of opportunity the land was. I think even the biggest Animal Crossing fan would admit that this world is pretty weird. Big-headed humans wearing Viking helmets, running around with an axe, talking to fashionable animals. But it just works. And this movie makes it feel like the game is based on the movie. A feeling similar to how I felt as a kid finding out that Pokemon Red and Blue came out before the show. It made sense when it was explained to me, but I was so attached to Ash and Pikachu, and the functionality of the world was so expertly explained by the show, that I only assumed that this anime was the work that the games were based on. Boy, was I wrong. So what are the gameplay traits that this movie captures that makes it feel like this could be the original? For one, I think that the pacing of time spent in this village is genuine to the game, and I felt genuinely invested in Ai as she came to her new town, eager to get started with her new neighbors and life in Animal Village, only to be stopped with the reality of forced day labor and paying her mortgage. Something I was slammed with as soon as I started the game as a 9-year-old, which I truly think better prepared me for the realities of life later and what to expect thanks to Tom Nook's conniving nature. These character introductions are handled perfectly, with the mayor and his insecure nature, even in his old age, to Rossetti, and learning that once you mess up once, you'll probably never want to do it again.
Oh, not him again.
Hey, you! What do you think you're doing?
This movie knows how to take source material and reintroduce it in an engaging way without it feeling disgusting, where most corporate propped-up adaptations these days really do not know how to bring things that make up the very DNA of what we like into the frame.
Meow?
When you like something, it's a very complicated and calculated reason why of artistry that made you feel the way that you did, and when it is decidedly adapted, whether or not in the form of a sequel or a spin-off game, people are deciding to take what that original feeling was and try to recapture it in a new light so that it ideally re-sparks that feeling in some way in those original fans, but also brings something new into the fray to get some new ones. Animal Crossing is largely experiential. It does not ask much of you other than to poke around and see what it has to offer, and get you excited when you find something new to sink your time into, or learn of a seasonal event to look forward to each year. The glee you felt when you realized the game changes with the time of the year in real life is captured in I's Christmas. The exhaustion you got from running back and forth from one side of the town to the other side of the town all day long is seen as I makes her deliveries. The calm I felt with the particularity of Brewster's Diner the first time I went to the museum basement. And finally, the heartbreak of when a neighbor you liked leaves and you didn't realize they were going to. The list goes on and on. So then, what becomes the point of Animal Crossing? As for the animals of the town, what does anything really matter? They are all trying to build a better community, live a happy life, and make well upon each other.
Oh my. Now, why are you acting all depressed? Because your friend moved away? If you thought that you and Margie had a friendly bond as ladies, then you did without a doubt. You need to believe in yourself more.
Believe in myself?
If you believe in yourself, your friends will believe in you also. Think about it until you understand.
I wants to start a new life. Tom Nook wants to be a successful businessman. You and Alfonso, they just want to discover things and have fun. And Hopper, maybe the simplest of all, he just wants to finally catch a fish. Something I can relate to. You continue to feel invested as both a moviegoer and as a gamer without a direct plot, because the stories of these characters and their lives, their personalities and aspirations are more than enough to capture your attention and affection. And you may gain a favorite, but most importantly, they all want to just slow down and do what makes them happy. And for a few hours a day, that's what Animal Crossing the game did for me as a kid. As for the current Animal Crossing players, only 2 months after the game's release online,
we're going to detail everything you need to know about this, and plus show you guys a way of getting all the rewards within 5 minutes. It's going to be so much fun. Thanks so much for watching.
And who am I to say that there's a right way to play a game? There isn't. However, I think that it can become easy to look at your Instagram Explore page or YouTube recommended and see what others have grinded out and feel a bit of pressure to make New Horizons into a Minecraft-esque utopia that you build from the ground up. The movie has reminded me with its dedication to the game's original message of finding self-worth and what is important to you as an individual and how you spend your time. Was any of this ever the intention at all? Making a custom town and having fun for sure, but feeling the pressure to be a world-class interior designer by plunging 2,000 hours into the game in 8 weeks? I'm not sure. And I wonder if these luxury island creators have now found themselves asking, what now? When creator Katsuya Eguchi made the game, he set out to make something with a different purpose than most video games up until that point. And now in this time of quarantine and some of the most hectic political and economic climates out there, not to mention the volatile, addictive nature of technology, with depression and anxiety rising to multi-decade, record-breaking highs. Animal Crossing: New Horizons and the movie remind us, slow down and smell the roses. It's going to be okay.
Hey, relax. Sometimes you just gotta go with the flow, man. Some fish don't school. Don't expect too much. Think about it.
If you like this video, check out Tall Skeleton. I plan to make more video essays in the future. Right now, we have podcasts, music videos, lyric videos, and other cool things, just ranging from a lot of different interests. Smash that subscribe. Smash that subscribe. Hit that like. Ring it. All right, I'm done. Have a nice day, guys.